Okay. So apart from that, if you see after process application, you can see toolkits. Okay. So why this toolkits is needed? So that is what you need to understand. Okay. So the what is the importance of toolkit? That is what I wanted to discuss. Okay. So I'll give an example, Jay. So I have one example. I have a client called um, okay. We say client. We have a LTA. Okay. LTA is a client. So inside the client, I have something like onboard customer. I have a application. I'm talking about application. So customer onboard. Okay. Next one, uh, this is called. I'm talking about app. Okay. The first app. Second app is customer products, and third app is so these all are process apps. Okay. The third one I can say customer product, and we can say loan application. Okay. So here if you see all these three apps related to customers, right? So first what happens customer onboarding. So I'll onboard a customer to the bank. Okay. So I as a customer I'll go to the bank. I'll create a new account in a bank. So for that I'll use a customer onboard. So and second one I'll use a customer products. So if I want to request any product, a credit card or debit card, any type of product I want to request to the bank. So then bank will use this application to issue those products. The third one is I just even loan is a kind of a product of a bank, but still I created a separate application, loan application, or like we can say loan process. So loan process is application used by a bank to sanction the loan to the customer. Okay. So in these three, what is common is customer, right? So customer data is a common. So when we say customer data, then we can say there what it will come customer screen, customer detail screen. So right. So customer screens will come.
Yes,
Then
sir.
there is a then the backend there will be integration with the core banking system. So these
Mhm.
all are the bank employees will use these application to process the data, process the request. But
Yes.
apart from that, there will be one more core banking system, right? Where will we see account balance, this customer ID, this is the account balance is there. So he has this much of fixed deposit. All those detail will be maintained at the core banking system, right? So I can
Yes.
say integration with different system, right? So integration with different system is common, right? So these three system will be integrated with core banking system. So core banking means in bank normally in generally we will use T24 or Finacle, or you can Eagle. Like normally in US and all they will use T24 and Eagle, or SWP is the core banking system. Okay. So these are the core banking system they will use to maintain the customer data. Okay, with this system we have to integrate, right? So we have to get the data from the system. So these are common. And apart from that, is it might be like database, right? Databases are common. Database we can say DBs are common. So these three, like when I'm developing the application, right? So I knows that so customer detail will be common for these detail these application. Integrations with core banking system is common. I'll be using that integration in the multiple applications. So I'll be using onboarding, customer products, loan process. All these three process application, I'm using the core integration. And database also, I'll be using a common database for all these three applications. Now, so what happens? These things will become common. So, but if I create all these the customer screens or integration individually inside this application, what happens? So that will be used by only this application. If I want to use those components or services inside the customer product, cannot be accessible, right? I won't be able to access it. Again, I need to create those services. And again, if I want to use these detail which are created in customer onboarding in the loan process, I can't use it because all are specific to the process application. Now again, I need to create inside the process loan process application. So it's kind of like duplication of the data, right? Same data, customer data screens I'm developing here. Again, same customer data screens I'm developing in the customer products app. Again, same customer data screen I'm developing in the loan processing app. It's a kind of like duplicate. So to avoid that, PPM has provided a flexibility, so which is called toolkits. The toolkits are nothing but reusable component. So inside the inside the toolkit, we will keep the common code which is used in the multiple application. Example, I will create a one toolkit with, I can say toolkit. What I will do, I will create a toolkit with customer details and integration. Okay, integration. With this name, I'll create a toolkit. So inside this, what is there? So the customer's data screen is there, integration is there, with the database services are there. So these details are kept it in one toolkit. That same toolkit, I will link with all the application. So I'll link with customer onboarding app. I will link with customer products, and also I will link with loan process. So, so if you see here, how much code is reduced. So instead of developing inside the customer onboarding app, so I created inside the toolkit. So that toolkit I link to the customer onboarding. Same toolkit I link to the products. Same toolkit I link to the process loan process. So because of that, one time I am developing the code. So that code I am using in the free applications. Obviously, what happened? The code development the code development is reduced. So multiple times duplication is avoided, and same components I'm using a reusing those components. Okay, and if required, I will do enhancement. Like I'll add some more component, and I will use it inside all the three process apps. So that is the purpose of toolkit. You're understanding?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So normally, like we can create our own toolkits, custom toolkits. So based upon your project need, so you can create your own toolkit. Okay. So example, you want to integrate some send emails. Okay. So example, like send email is a common, right? So here on customer onboarding, I'll be sending email to the customers, and on product issue, I'm sending an email to the customer, and loan processing, if loan is sanctioned, I send an email to the customer. This is common, right? Sending email. Such service I will identify before developing an application, right? So in the design phase, I will identify, okay, these are the common things I need to keep it under the toolkit, because these might be reusable in the future. So we have to keep it in the toolkit. So for such a code, so I will keep it in the toolkit and I will be using it in the application. Okay, so that is custom toolkit which you are creating for your project need. Okay, but apart from that, BPM will provide some common toolkits. Okay, which is example, you want to develop a UIs, right? So you want to design a screens. So IBM has those screens. Like there are some screen development controls. IBM is already provided. So you will be dragging and dropping those options, and you will be building the UIs. So such options or code which is already kept it in the toolkit. Okay, so IBM has already created toolkits for UI development. So for UI development, IBM has created UI toolkit that we will be using in our application, because UI toolkit is common for all the how many application you create. For that you need a UIs, right? So how will create a UIs? So by using this, the components which are under the UI toolkits. So that is the reason IBM already created the UI toolkit. So inside that, all the UI components comes into picture. Then apart from that, we have responsive
Sir,
portal.
sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, what is the difference between this UI toolkit and the previous one you explained one toolkit, right? So,
This is actually our like see whenever we are doing a design of our application, at that time we identified these are the common uh, uh, like commonly the example, I have some screens which are common. So those screens I can keep it in the toolkit. Okay, so because those will be used inside all these three applications, which is custom
okay,
one.
okay,
So as a
okay,
developer, I created custom screens. I am keeping in my own toolkit. But
okay.
so how to develop the screens? We need some component, right? We need a
Hmm.
example. I'm developing a custom detail, but I need some text boxes. I need something drop downs. I need. or some other components I need, right? Tables, all those to design those screens, we need some components, right?
mm.
You're getting?
Yes, yes, yes.
So how you'll do how those components will come? So those all components are there in UI toolkit.
Okay, okay, okay,
Understanding, right? Which is IBM
okay,
has provided. IBM is
okay.
provided. So
So
this one you
basically,
created.
two different toolkits are there. I mean, the first toolkit which you explained, the common code which can be reused across different application, we kept it there, and within that also whatever UI component, suppose the screens design or the UI related stuffs are there, which can be reused across different places. That we can keep it in IBM given UI toolkit, right?
Oh, no, no. I'll tell you. I'll open and I'll show you. So don't get confused.
Uh-huh.
So example, you want to example. I have a variable. Okay. So I'll tell you
Okay.
one variable. So I need to declare one variable as int. Okay.
Hmm.
So I want some amount. Amount is a variable. Okay. But
Hmm.
type is the integer. Right. So
Hmm.
integer I keep. So this is a primitive data type.
Hmm.
So you are not gonna design this integer, right? It's a primitive which IBM tool has to provide that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
and amount is the one variable you declare the variable, which is your
Yes.
name, right?
Yes.
So I want to develop one screen, customer detail screen. So when I'm developing customer detail screen, I need what I need. I need an input text box, right? Input text box I need. So
Yes.
for input text means customer ID to enter a customer ID. Okay,
Hmm.
which is a type of input text. Okay, and one more is I need a customer address. Okay, so for that again it is a input text, right?
Hmm.
So you know the what is there in the customer detail, okay, based upon that you are developing a screen, but from where this input text will comes into picture, I need to drag and drop, right, to design a screen.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
You're
Correct.
understanding, right? So
Yes. Yes.
so customer ID I need to design, but it is the input text. So how this input text, where you need to from where this input text will come, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
such thing, or example, you want to, this is the customer address is there, right? So
Hmm.
similar way have a customer type, whether it is a temporary customer or a permanent customer, like that. Okay.
Hmm.
So where that drop down will comes into, like customer type, I need a drop down. From where the drop down comes, right?
Hmm.
So when
Hmm.
I drag and drop,
Hmm.
all those options, input text, single select, or anything which is a table, like you want to design a table. So
Hmm.
where that structure comes into, so
Hmm.
those all structure will be placed under the UI toolkit. You're clear?
Yes.
Which is
Yes. Yes.
you won't be editing anything. It is a system provided. Okay, IBM
Okay.
has
Okay.
provided. So you are not
Okay.
modifying anything inside the UI toolkit. But
Okay. Okay.
but the toolkit which you created, which is customer detail and integration, here again you are developing a screen. So how you are developing? The options which are provided in the BPM UI toolkit, by using those options, you are designing your screen which are placed under the customer details.
Okay.
You're clear?
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Got it, right?
Got it.
Okay. So this is one toolkit, and content management. So you need some option to upload the files, right? You can't
Hmm.
design completely like the document upload or document edit. All those, like you want to store all those documents inside the file net. Those all options you don't need, like you are a developer, you don't need like all those options to be developed. So that is the reason IBM has provided options. So those options kept under the content management toolkit. So what you will be doing, you will be linking this toolkit inside your cross application, and you will be using those options. You're understanding, right? It is already developed, and it's given. The food is already prepared and given to you, so you know how to eat it. That's all. Understanding?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So which is related to content management. Content management toolkit used for document related. Example, you want to store a file in the document file net, then you can use content management toolkit, which is IBM is provided. You are not gonna alter it. Everything is will be there. You are not going to alter anything. You won't be opening this in the designer, and you won't be changing anything. Just you should know how to use those options. Okay. And even UI toolkit, which is provided by IBM, again, so that is actually you should know how to use the component which are created inside the UI toolkit. So by using those components, how I can develop a screen, UI screen, that you should know. Okay. And next one, coaches and responsive coaches, which was supporting for older version. So because we are in 8 point, the IBM has started from 7 point version, right? 7 version. So
Hmm.
then might be if the client is at the older version, then all older screens are developed in responsive coaches toolkit or by using this coaches toolkit. For understanding, right? The UI
Yes, sir.
toolkit is the latest one, which is a modern screen. Okay.
Okay.
Then, and apart from that, we have a system data toolkit. System data toolkit is used, for example, if I was mentioning primitive data types, right? So you want to declare a variable as integer or decimal, or you want to declare as a like float, or this type of data will be there, right? To build your
Hmm.
application. And
Yes, sir.
also you want to integrate with the database related, like you want to configure JDBC or ODBC. Configure is nothing but you need a service where you will be passing SQL script and you want to get the response. Okay, such components are available inside the system data toolkit, and you will be using that toolkit to build your application. Okay, you're clear now?
Yes, sir. I'm just
Okay.
taking note. 1 second, sir.
Okay. So, and
Okay.
dashboards. So, and one more thing, dashboard also, which is IBM has provided in the process portal. You can see dashboards right here.
Hmm.
Here, if you see work is the dashboard. Like these are the dashboards. Processes are the dashboards, right? So when you click on
Hmm.
this link, some screen will get loaded. So IBM has provided, like you are not going to change anything in the process portal, but how this process portal is built, right? These dashboards is built. How it is built? The services which are available here, which are placed inside the dashboard, which are related to dashboard tab. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Here, if you say dashboard, so here all the services are there. When I click on this link, this screen is got loaded. Where this screen is coming? So this screen is designed and built in where it is built, which is built and kept it under the dashboards. So this
Okay. Okay.
dashboards, because of this toolkit, you can see this screen. Okay, clear?
Okay, sir.
But we are not going to change anything. So we'll be using
So
these
that
options.
is kind of that other screen. It is kind of developers portal where all the setups and everything done. And this screen
Yeah.
is nothing but end user screen. Whatever changes you do, you do there. Those changes or those screens get reflected here, right?
No, no. What I meant to say, so
No, no.
this
In the
this screen
previous
is there.
screen, no, sir. Sir, just 1 second.
Uh,
Here you did support. Here developers will be doing these changes, no? This dashboard setup or whatever, right?
no, no. These all IBM will provide. If
Haha.
required, it will be changing it. If required, no, I'm
Haha.
telling you, 99.99% we are not gonna change it anything. So because
Okay.
this process portal, we are not gonna customize it. So we will be using whatever IBM is provided. Okay.
Mhm,
So, so these what I meant to say, this work is there. Okay, work screen. So if I
mhm.
click on this one, so how the screen is loading? So right there some should be code, right? So where
Mm.
that code is written, where IBM
Okay.
has written that code. So where they written inside the dashboard toolkit.
Okay.
Understanding, right?
Ha
Okay,
ha
we are
ha.
not gonna touch anything which IBM is created. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay, just for your understanding, I'm telling you. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, but our screen, whatever we developed it, right? So those screen which visible in here, that I'll tell you, like, so here, like when we develop our screen, that will be visible here. For example, I developed the one of the screen. So here, customer CHS. Okay, so this screen. So we have
Mhm,
developed it. This
mhm, mm.
where this screen is there in our application is there. Inside our
Okay.
application is there. So there,
Okay.
as a
Okay.
developer, will be changing there. Code, that code, whatever changes, that will be reflected in the process portal. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay.
clear, right? Okay. Don't get confused. There are two types of toolkit which IBM has provided already. So those dashboard, content management, UI, responsive coaches, and system data toolkit, which are IBM has provided. We are not going to alter anything inside. So we are not
Okay.
going to develop anything. But
Okay.
so if our project is required, then we'll create our custom toolkit. So how we'll create the custom toolkit? By using create new toolkit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this option is there. So here you can give the name. and automatically the acronym name will be generated. Then here actually like description will be providing and create. So inside that you need to develop your common components. Okay, that will I'll tell you like with one example I'll explain and show you. Okay, but as of now you understand what is the purpose of this toolkit.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
and the next one is servers. Servers are used for mainly like we have a process servers, right? So whichever servers are connected to this process center, so those servers detail you can see here. So we have three types of server: production, test, UAT. Okay, these are process servers which are connected here. Okay, and admin like there will be two types of users. So if you are admin, like example, you want to get complete access to the tool, complete tool access you need, then you should be part of TW underscore admin group. Then you will be having access to the complete tool. So example, you want a read only access, then you should be part of TW underscore other group. Then you will be having a read only access. Okay, just I'll explain you so how this group and team and user will work. Okay, so when we are
Okay.
discussing about this. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
these are the options are available inside the workflow center. So do you have any questions?
No, sir. So far, clear, sir.
Clear, right? Okay.
Yeah.